Well, it's not going to work like this, so I guess I will have to fix this. And by the way, Happy New Year. And hopefully 2022 will be the year that the Chinese flu is leaving this globe. Because to be honest, I kinda had it with all these corona restrictions. And at this point, I think, or I'm pretty much sure that I'm more afraid of the Dutch government than I am afraid at ever getting the coronavirus. Because I got my shots, I did eventually opt in for that scheme, but we are governed by fear, and that is not really working. They need to turn the page and start working from another playbook, or this whole mess is going to escalate at some point. Come on. That one lead was a bit long, but let's see if this worked out. This, by the way, is my 1980s Gazelle 5-speed, and I bought it as a parts bicycle, but I kind of want to use it this winter as my winter hack, because that green Batavus, well, that didn't really work out. And unfortunately, as you can see, the light is still not working. But to be honest, I wasn't really expecting that. That would be too easy. I must say that this dynamo sounds a bit strange. And it looks like the drive wheel isn't being properly driven by the tire. Maybe the problem is with the dynamo itself. But I think I will check the light bulb next. And this is another one of those Basta dynamos, like the one that I made it hybrid Basta dynamo. I can always install that one. But first let's check the light bulb. Oh, and at this point the rear light is also not working. Probably there's an issue with the wiring. Let's check the front light bulb first, so I can cross that off my list of potential problems. There's a spare light in here. That's kind of nice. Now I could check this with my multimeter, but I just found out that the multimeter has run out of juice. Maybe it is too cold and the battery just died. But I can usually see the little filament, and this spare one still looks okay. And now I will check the other one as well. Plastic, fantastic. Oh, this one also still looks okay. And I'll see if I can find a new battery for my multimeter, so I can test the continuity of the wiring. So it turns out that the battery in both of my multimeters is empty. And unfortunately, this country is back in lockdown. Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe that we're back in lockdown after more than a year. It really is a fucked up situation. But still, I will try and find a battery at one of the so-called essential stores, because I would hate to buy a battery from Amazon. because I kinda like to support the local stores. But without a credit card I don't think I can even buy something from Amazon. So it looks like this shit show will be getting a bit longer, and I will continue this when I have a new battery. So it's a few days later and I got myself an Essential battery, and it took a little bit of searching because the first store I visited had run out, and the second store wouldn't take my money. They were only willing to sell me something if I ordered it through the internet, and finally I got lucky at the third store, the third Essential store that I visited. So let's install this in the multimeter and check the continuity of that light bulb. I need a screwdriver. It's alive. Good. This shit show can continue. Sounds like that one is okay. Now let's also check the spare light bulb, because what's the point of having a spare if it's already broken? Also okay. So the wire to the light bulb seems to be okay, but unfortunately I connected it to the earth connection. That's what you get when you try to install wires upside down, when you cannot see the underside of the dynamo. And I assume this is the front light and that is the rear light, and the earth connection runs through the bracket for the dynamo, but I'm not 100% certain on that. So I'm going to connect both of these wires to this connector, and hopefully then my problem is fixed. But I am a bit suspicious about this dynamo. It is definitely not the original dynamo for this bicycle. It is an aftermarket one, probably installed somewhere in the 2000s. Because a bicycle from the 80s should not have a plastic dynamo like this. Well, I will get these leads connected and then I can test the lights again. I connected both of the leads to the other connector, and when I turn the wheel, you can see we have light, although the dynamo still sounds rather fucked up, especially when I spin it in the wrong direction. Unfortunately, from where I am standing, I cannot spin the wheel and check the rear light. For that I will need the camera. Here we go. I think it, yeah, it actually works. That's a little miracle. So that's good, because I'm pretty much done now. Great, because it is getting too cold to work very long in the barn. So that's about it for my first and hopefully not my last bicycle shit show of 2022. But cycling is good for me, or so my doctor says. So I will try to continue and hopefully improve my health a bit more. So like, subscribe, share, yada yada yada. And please forget about that stupid notification bell. It just doesn't work as expected. And you should probably opt out of those social media notifications. They are just not healthy. So till next time, and again, Happy New Year. You hear that? Sounds like the weather has turned. Yep, that's the winter for you. So I guess I will have to skip the test ride and check, or maybe I'll check the lights tomorrow morning when it is still dark. But don't expect a whole lot of videos from me this winter. The cold is just not very good for me. But I do have some unfinished projects, video projects, that just need a bit more editing. And I also decided to start a new channel for my bicycle shit. And I'm thinking about naming it Dutch Budget Bikes. Other name suggestions are welcome. But I would like to keep this channel for some random shit. And perhaps some test edits. Alright, now I'm really going to stop. Because it's bedtime. That one belongs in my pocket. Something like that looks okay. I should have used a washer. Alright. Well, she still sounds a bit rough, especially when moving forward. But maybe it will get better with use. If not, I will replace the Basta Dynamo with the one that I fixed up in a recent video. I did manage to fix the bell. This plastic piece was broken off, but another bicycle that I scrapped recently had the same bell, and that one still had a plastic piece that wasn't broken. Now let's go for a test ride. Good morning. It's 7:30, maybe a bit later, and it is getting light. And it's time for a short test ride. And well, it's not dark. We had a whole lot of rain last night. And the dirt road is soaked with puddles. I'll try and cycle a bit faster. Maybe we can see. No. We cannot see the light on the surface of the dirt road. That sucks. Well, this test failed. No point in continuing this. I'm not sure. Maybe the light isn't working at the moment. It's, well, it might be the dynamo that's no good. But sometimes I see something on the road. So I stopped to check the light, and it is working. But I guess the drive wheel of the dynamo is not in good contact with the tire. Alright, I'm going to try again. And then I will go back to the barn and investigate. It is working, but it looks like a lighthouse. I think it's a bulge in the tire. This is kind of awkward to film because I'm walking next to the bicycle and holding a camera in front of the bicycle, trying to make a shot. It completely sucks. Let's also try the rear light. See if I can catch that on camera. And here's proof that the rear light is more or less also working. But this is more awkward to film than the front light. So it's time to go home for me and take care of some cows. Man, this light sucks. But it's more important to be seen than to see anything. Maybe it will get a little bit better with use. Check out the mud that I need to deal with on a daily basis. Yeah, lots of rain last night. But at least it stopped blowing. The wind died down. Man, the road is terrible around here. Alright, I cannot really do this while filming, so I'm turning back. It's a good thing I'm not wearing my clogs. Well, at least it is not as wet as last summer, because that was terrible.